Welcome to another Zencast. We're just going to do a quick Zencast here, okay? No fancy green screen, just my computer screen. And I wanted to talk about the weather, because obviously this week's going to warm up because pretty much we're being dominated in the East Coast here by a ridge. So I'm pump up some warm air. Warm front is approaching. And you also have pretty nice weather. I mean, it's quiet out, right? Not talking about storms. Well, enjoy it if that's the type of winter weather you like, because as I noted in my last video, winter is not canceled, winter is not over, winter is coming. That's right. All right, so let's take a look at just a few things here that the models are beginning to catch up on. First off, let's go ahead and take a look at the NAO. And you can see that, remember, winter, you want the blocking. That's a negative NAO, okay? And right now, we're definitely in the positive. But the models have strong consensus. That's like all the models are pointing that it will be going negative. A block will be setting up. Now, exact position of the block and all that, that also influences forecast. But this is what you want to see, okay? And then after it goes negative, you could see all little spaghetti like model prints. These are all the different models saying, oh yeah, one's gonna be here, one's gonna be here, it's gonna be here. But the consensus is it's gonna, stay in the negative range, and that's good. Blocking, that's what we want. All right, so let's take a look at the AO, and again, this is really, that polar vortex up there. If it breaks down and it starts coming south and or displaces or bends all the different things that get onto the polar vortex, which looks like there's a stratospheric warming event happening right now, and that is influencing the polar vortex. To break it down, you'll see that the AO is very strongly positive, and now the models do again have a pretty good consensus of it breaking down and heading towards negative to neutral. And then you got the spaghetti straps where you have one model tanking it, and then some keeping it a little bit in positive. But you got to take the average here, okay? I think the average is going to be, I think the AO is going to be negative. It's right on that bubble, okay? And again, so we'll see how that plays out there. Let us also go ahead and take a look at the MJO. And as you can see, remember the stormy phases for the East Coast, the phases you want to see in winter are 7, 8, and 1. Here's 7 over here, 8, 1. Okay, this range here. Some say 2 is not that bad, but I mean, look, 8 and 1 are like the ones that you really like, but 7 is good too. And you can see that the model, each one of these lines is a different model, different prediction, different run. A different run of the model. So something that you may or may not know. When the GFS runs, there's the operational run, or if the Euro runs, the operational run, and then there's runs of that same model that are different. So there's ensembles where they just sit there and they run the same thing with different factors a whole bunch of times. So that's what you're getting here when you see this. All right. But let's take a look over here, and you can see that most of the spaghetti straps are going through 7 to 8, even some bringing it down into 1. And you can see this on various different models. So here's the Euro, and again, you can see how they are swinging into 8, and if you go back here, you see some more going into 1. All right, so that is something that's good, right? So, okay, negative NAO blocking. Looks like the AO is going negative and you're negative also. Okay. MJO going into favorable phases for storms on the East Coast. All right. So things are lining up. The pattern is changing. This is 850 millibar temperatures. Okay. And I just want to show you where we're at. So this is kind of where we're at right now. You're going to see this warm up. Okay. Pushing east, right? You see that? So that warm up right into here. Okay, that's about Thursday this week, right? And Thursday and Friday. And what I really want you to focus on is the cold pool, okay, in the Arctic. And watch how that starts bleeding down into Canada. It starts affecting the Northeast also. You see now we start getting to a little bit of colder pattern here. Okay, and we're just going to cycle through this. And let's go towards, so right around December 22nd. Okay, just focus on this. See how this is bleeding down further, slowly but surely. It's an evolution. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay, and this is the end of the model run right around Christmas Eve. You could see this is definitely pulled down, and you have the trough in the East Coast. You have the ridge in the West Coast, the trough in the East Coast, and that's allowing more cold air to funnel in. I'm just going to go from Christmas Eve to today. Okay? You see the difference, the shift in the pattern. Okay? In fact, if we want to come over here, the way this pattern wavelength is, you have a trough on the West Coast and a ridge on the East Coast. Okay? And over here now, you have a ridge here and a trough here. Okay? And you could see the cold pool is actually much deeper and further south also. See, it's not as cold as it is here, and it's bleeding into United States. So we have the ingredients setting up. Again, the pattern change is something that happens slowly. It's not something that happens overnight. And the other thing is, I mean, I'm showing you here, Christmas Eve. That's 10 days away. Okay. These models during pattern changes, they become confused. Okay. There's so many factors that are happening, and they're trying to tell the future, and they can't. So, I mean, I expect if I look at this 10-day forecast, a little bit later today when the next model run hits, we're going to see something might look completely different. So you can't go ahead and look at that. And that's the other thing when looking at storms, if you're seeing a storm in the 7-day, yeah, it's a good signal. It's nice to see it, but I mean, I wouldn't bet on it, because the volatility in the models is going to be very high, specifically during the pattern change. The other thing is, because I'm sure social media will light up with it, looks like Saturday into Sunday, there is something that's going to be rolling through. So remember, we warm up Thursday, Friday, then a cold front comes through, and then there's like an overrunning event. So there's a storm system that might affect the area, and it might hit some folks with a few inches of snow, specifically upstate. I'd say the Catskill region, they can get it. Now, if this sets up, okay, because remember, Saturday is almost 6 days away, so there is still a lot of volatility in the models. But yeah, we'll see how it sets up. I don't think it's a major concern. If it's anything, it's a few inches. And again, I don't think the coast will be able to cash in on that. You might see some flakes, might have some mixing and so on. But we'll see as we get closer. I'm not putting out a storm map or anything just yet, because it's still way too early, and we really need to see how the pattern evolves. All right. I think that's it. So yeah, so let's keep watching, and hopefully we get some snow. If you like that thing. If you don't, I think you're gonna be out of luck this winter, because I think it's gonna be snowing. All right, have a good one, everyone.